Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean. This is In The Mixer as we continue our hashtag United series. I've started on this page because we are currently top of the Eastern Counties League at Division 1 South, which is in line with our expectations for the season. It's in line with the press's expectations, the board's expectations, but the manner in which we've gotten there has been really impressive and I'll be really proud of it. Of course, if you haven't watched the last episode, episode 2, please go back and check it out and you can see some of the games that we're about to talk about now. But we did start the season with a 3-1 victory over Newbury Forest. Jack Harrison and Harry Honesty getting amongst the goals for us there. Followed it up with a 3-0 win against Wivenhoe Town. Followed that up again with a 3-0 victory again at home at Coles Park Stadium to Benfleet. Then we had a relatively massive fixture. At the time, White Ensign was second. We were sitting first, only on goal difference and goals scored. This game could have gone either way. We got off to a great start through Tashi and Richmond, who I think has been fantastic over the last few games. Then Harry Honesty doubled our lead and we went in 2-0 at half time. Hugo Mitchell pulled one back from them late. Daniel Adjie made it 3-1, and then a late goal from Mason Cotton made it a very nervy last 10 minutes or so. But a tremendous result. They're pretty much, I think, going to be amongst our main rivals for the league this season. Tashi and Richmond did pick up a knock in that game, but he's been involved in goals. He's been involved in assists, really staking his claim for that number 10 attacking midfielder position that we've been trying to get Ryan Adams to work a little bit better in. After that, we did unfortunately lose 1-0 in the Bill-based FA Cup in the second qualifying round. Now, because the club's reputation is so high, because they have so much notoriety, we were expected to do a little bit better in the FAVs than perhaps the reality of our current league position. But regardless, still disappointing to go out at the first knockout stage. It does give us a chance to focus elsewhere, of course, but it would be nice to, keep going through that competition, get a little bit extra cash for our wins each week. And while we did play a pretty changed side in terms of giving some people that have been kind of doing good stuff off the bench opportunities, the majority of the spine of the squad was our first team, so there is still work for us to be doing. We're by no means the finished article, and it sucks that we've lost that game, but what can we do? We've got to carry on our season. Our invincible season is still alive in the league itself though, and we can continue to go for that. But first, we're going to play Wivenhoe in the Eastern Counties League Cup first round. This will be a League Cup competition for everybody within Eastern Counties League Division 1 South. So I'd expect us to do well in it because we're doing well in the league structure itself. If we have a look, the only other team at the moment who hasn't lost... there's two, sorry. The only other teams that haven't lost a game at the moment are Halstead Town, who are equal on us with goal, but we have a superior goal difference, and Harwich and Parkston, who have only played 3 of their games. And while we have played Wivenhoe Town once already in this season, they haven't been doing too badly since that game. They've gotten 2 wins and 1 further defeat in that time. So we're going to have to be at our best to beat them today. And what I also want to focus on doing is trying to get some run into the legs of our squad players. Guys that so far haven't really had first team opportunities from a starting perspective, but are well and truly overdue for some time in the side. So if you look here, inconsistent form for them. Really up, down, win, loss, loss, win, loss, win. The game will be refereed by Rebecca Welch, which is great to see female referees represented in the game itself. We have really strong form. Tekka's Guru is still out for a few months, so he's our only real injury concern at the moment, that there are a few knocks about the place, so certain players will sit out. And we're going to go with Jamie Jackson in goal for his first start and appearance of the season. Ross Gleed at left back, who's done alright in a couple of appearances while Tom Williams was away with the Cypriot national team. Jack Harrison and Jamel Akeem as our central defensive partnership. Kane Brogham on the right. Evans and Hursett as our midfield combination. Adams will play at the 10 again while we give Tashi and Richmond a rest after the knock he picked up the other day. Theo Baker on the left wing. Aaron Couch on the right and Daniel Adjie up top, which leaves a pretty strong looking bench of Andy Cade-Watts, Farai Singano, Marcus Stamp, Tashi and Richmond, who we already spoke about, and Dan Brown. We'll give Tom Williams a rest, Harry Honesty a rest, and Charlie Morley, because they will likely play the majority of the games, and each of them I think have played 90 minutes in each of our games so far. We're going to continue on with our fluid counter-attacking style with a positive mentality. I'm going to slowly introduce 2 more tactics throughout the course of the season. They'll likely be exactly the same as this, but with different mentalities, just so the team is more familiar with them. We might do one that's attacking for when we need to chase and go after a goal, and another one that's cautious, so that we're counter-attacking with a cautious mentality against teams in higher divisions. But as we add those, I'll continue to let you guys know and we'll go through them a little bit more in detail. We will look at probably changing a couple of these roles as the season wears on and we see who performs best in certain roles and capacities. But enough talking from me, let's get stuck straight into this game. Alright, looking at a revised Wivenhoe Town side, they have picked up a couple of different players. They've got Kroll in goal, who we did see in that previous game. Scantlebury and Stroud as the central defensive partnership. Blenkinsop and Saberton as the fullbacks. Nancha I think we decided on, is their star player so far in the performances this season. He'll anchor midfield. Brown and Sona as the central midfield combination. Lewis Reed on the left. And it looks like this is the first player that we've come up against that actually has his own photo. Robinson Jones. He's only 20. He's a right winger playing a little bit advanced. He's previously played for Lincoln in Vanarama National but never made an appearance. We'll see if he's a danger man to watch. And of course, Ferdinand up top as well. So a couple of changes for them, but I still think in cup competition, even with a heavily rotated side, we should be beating teams like this, even away from home. I'm going to assertively say, if we play our game, we'll win. You're all very capable of that. And I'm also going to give the defence a nudge. And they've responded well also. All right, delayed clap sync, just in case I missed it. 3, 2, 1. All right, and away we go in this League Cup clash. I'm hopeful that this is just the kickoff highlight and we're not going to concede in the first minute, which is also a bummer. It's a great run and tackle from, I think, Ricky Evans there. And because it's a cup competition, we're just going to change this latest event updates to be latest scores and see what the other games are like. So no, we're not, because we've already got that up there. We'll see if Jay Devereaux has any observations or feedback that he wants to give throughout the course of the game. All right, we've gotten outside the first 15 minutes without conceding, which is always a positive, but no highlights as yet for either side other than that brief kickoff highlight that we saw. We have had one shot, they're yet to have one, and they are just shading possession as well. So I wonder if they've changed their structure or their style for this cup competition. Though they have just been given some feedback that hasn't really worked out for the manager. We'll see if that has any impact on our chances and the highlights in this half. We've got a highlight here. Jack Harrison with the strike. Ryan Adams first to the rebound, but it's hooked away by Scandalbury. Jack Harrison taking free kicks, which is interesting to see. I think Tom Williams would usually have them. Hersett and Evans are knocking the ball around nicely now. Let's come back to Hersett again. He's put a ball over the top, but I dare say that one's going to run out. And what we might also do is use a shout and encourage everybody. Here we go. Kroll's going to take a goal kick. I don't think it has anything to do with the shout. I don't think that's actually come through yet. It's a long ball forward to Robinson Jones, who we spoke about in the build-up to this game. He's earned himself a photo, so he must be an alright player. Brown with a big touch forward. He continues to come back now to Blenkinsop. Back to Brown. To Sona at the top of the box. Great tackle from Ricky Evans. Do we have a counter-attack going now? It's a long ball forward towards Daniel Adji, who's worked his way in behind. He's got a tough angle. He gets the strike away, and it's a decent save from Kroll in the Wivenhoe goal. Adji's also going to take the corner now, which is insane. Gets it in. It doesn't beat the first man, which is disappointing. Not a quality delivery. It's come back out now to Hersett, who goes back to Jack Harrison and out to Ross Gleed. We've got a 2v1 out here if we can work it correctly. We do now with Gleed again. And it looked like he went for a cross on the deck, but Saberton cut it out and put it into row G. We've got a throw in, which has been... well, it ends. I was about to say, so many of our highlights have started with throw-ins throughout the course of this series, but that one didn't even play out. 30 minutes gone now. 5 shots to their 2. They're yet to have a strike in anger, which are famous last words. I'm sure the next highlight we see will be them slotting one home after a well-worked team move. Here we go. Adji to take the corner again. It's a little bit better delivery this time. It hits the deck and it bounces around. I think it was Couch had the strike and it hit the man on the post. And then it fell to Theo Baker, the fox in the box, inside the 6-yard box. And he smacks that one home unchallenged. So it's Gleed initially and then Couch on the follow-up. It's cleared well by the man on the line. I don't know why the man on the line didn't press up then. And Theo Baker, who is definitely not a brunette man, but for whatever reason his character model in here is, smacks that one home with his left foot. And we're a goal to the good. And he immediately spikes up to a 7.2 match rating, which is good to see. Into the last 5 minutes of the half now. Nobody for them is really tearing it up in terms of match performance. We've got another corner here taken again by Daniel Adji. And Ricky Evans, that one falls to. I think it was a failed header by Sona maybe for Wivenhoe Town. Second goal of the season for Ricky Evans, and a lovely strike. Not sure if this was a volley or if it hit the deck. Daniel Adji takes the corner. It's cleared away into a player, and then I believe Evans just has a quick snapshot of it with his left peg and puts that one high into the top corner. So 2 goals to the good. We've only really seen 2 highlights as well, which is great return on our forward play. Brougham now with a long ball forward to the corner taker Daniel Adji, and he finds the strike, his second goal of the season. Fantastic ball there from Kane Brougham, and a lovely off-the-ball movement from Daniel Adji to just pluck this one out of the sky over the shoulder of the defender. It's a good tackle from Brougham high up the pitch. And once he breaks, it's not the prettiest football in the world, but it's going to be super effective at this level. And keeper doesn't get his angles entirely right. Adji made it look great by putting it into the roof of the net, but we go 3 goals up inside the first half. Fantastic performance from some of the reserve players that we've got out there. The likes of Kane Brogan, Theo Baker, Daniel Adji. 2 minutes to be added on by the referee. We will see if there's any further highlights before halftime is whistled. No, nothing further added on there. And to be honest, that's probably one of our best halves of football thus far. Assertively, very pleased with your performance. Keep it going, lads. No need to change anything or do anything drastic if we don't need to. We're just going to make our subs probably in about 15 minutes based entirely on fitness at the moment, and trying to make sure that no one's picking up any little knocks or strains or anything like that, particularly that central midfield area. Now that we're without Tekka's Guru for a good few months, we need to kind of manage Lee Hurst and Ricky Evans as much as we can. We know I've gotten some good feedback that they're fired up by. We'll see if that has any impact on the highlights that we're about to see. No, they've immediately gone back to normal, so it was nothing. They got over it very quickly. All right, throw in now, Blenkinsop to Sona. It's Hurst and Evans closing down well. The ball's got him behind to Ferdinand, but it's coming out now through Hurst, who looks far too long. He had a man right in front of him. He just had to find feet. It's a good tackle from Ricky Evans. Can we launch a counter-attack now? It's straight down the middle. Adji's gotten in between the centre-backs, and he has burst into the 18-yard box. Smacked that one home from his 3rd goal of the season. It's a good ball from Ricky Evans. Very identical to his first goal in reality. It's a good win in a midfield area. It's a long ball forward. There's poor defending from the 2 central defenders. The way he let him slip in between like that. And he pretty much runs the ball all the way home. The keeper doesn't come out with any sense of urgency. And Adji has all the time in the world. He's on a hat-trick now, so guess we let him play out the rest of the game and see how he does. Fantastic game for Ricky Evans as well, to be fair. Alright, that's an hour gone, so I'm just going to pause really quickly. And let's make a couple of adjustments. Let's push Jack Harrison into midfield and bring on Singano at the back. Let's give Ryan Adams a spell and give, so far, our player of the season and leading scorer, Tashane Richmond, an opportunity to get involved with the goals. And I might hold off on the last one. And we'll just say, a lot more to come from you guys. They respond with nothing at all. But they've both got good morale, which is good to see. And we'll see what sort of impact they can have. The game should already be won. This should just be about closing out the rest of the match. Alright, 75 minutes gone. We haven't had a highlight in a little bit. I'm probably going to hold on to that last sub. They've made all 3 of theirs now. But you'd expect, even with this result, Cade Watts, Stamp and Brown will all play in the next fixture. This is a Tuesday night game and we're only a part-time side. So it's tough sometimes getting players enough conditioning and enough fitness to get up and play 2 or 3 games in a week. Alright, 3 minutes to be added on. Looks like Lewis Reed's picked up a knock for them. I panicked for a second thinking it was one of our players, which would be pretty much the only negative to this performance thus far. Would have been great to see Daniel Adji get a hat-trick, but I don't think we're going to see another highlight in this match. One more throw in now. Is it just the final? It is. It's headed away and the referee calls full time. Really good performance. Let's go have a look at the dressing room now. And just calmly, a good win, boys. Well done. Like to be expected, they're a middle to lower table team. It's first round of a cup competition, so I'm sure they rotated as well. And 4-0 is a really, really, really good win. So you can see here, met expectations in a dominant win. I think it was talked about in the lead up to the game. And then we followed through with it. 17 shots to 4, 52% possession despite playing a counter-attacking style. Club debuts for Kane Brogan and Jamie Jackson in that match, which is great. We receive a further £250, which is massive. It's the wage of a good few players for this week. So let's hope we can continue carrying through that competition. And of course, Evans with a goal and an assist, a 9.3 rating and 11.4 distance covered is a fantastic result. So let's just happily tell him, superb. And he's responded really well. He's got perfect morale at the moment. There's not a lot more we could ask for that. Now, magic of editing, we're going to jump ahead to the next game where we play Friendford away from home. It's only in 4 days, so we might chuck a rest day in there as well. But I'll see you guys again in a second. All right, so just like that, we are a couple of days ahead. I think it was 4 days or something like that. Playing away at the Jack Carter Centre against Friendford. You can see here they're currently sitting in 8th spot, despite having relatively inconsistent form. Only 1 win in their last 5. They did have a cup replay throughout the course of the week, so I'm hoping they'll be a little bit more tired than our players are. All right, looking at the two lineups here, we're going to go with Andy Cade-Watts coming back in goal from the midweek cup fixture, Harrison and Stamp as our central defensive partnership. Tom Williams, who's been amongst the highest average ratings in the league thus far, will come back in at left back, though I thought Gleed had a good game. Same for Kane Brougam on the right-hand side. I just think Singano is a more complete player. Evans, after his man of the match performance, will continue alongside Hurst. Both of them had a day's rest during the course of the week. Tashan Richmond, our current highest average rating player and leading scorer for the season, will come in at the 10 at the expense of Ryan Adams. Honesty on the left wing, who was the best trainer throughout the course of the week. Charlie Morley on the right, who has the highest potential of any player in the squad. And the one that's perhaps a little bit controversial, the change that I wasn't initially intending to make, Daniel Adjie, after scoring 2 games midweek, will continue to lead the line up top. Dan Brown will stay on the bench for this one. The rest of the bench is Ryan Adams, Ross Gleed, Jamil Akeem, and Jamie Jackson. Looking at the Brentford lineup, they've got Blakey as their star player and captain in goals, Kelly and Terry as their central defensive partnership, Bradbury and Stockdale as their fullbacks. A different Kelly, C. Kelly, will anchor midfield, sitting behind Francis and Woodman, Baker on the left wing, Goldthorpe on the right, and Davis up top. No photos to speak of for any of their players, but we saw in the last game, if you got a photo or not, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes we'll spank you regardless. We're assertive away from home, as we always are, and I'm just going to say we've been on a good run lately, so go out there and impress me, just to mix it up. Looks like Harry Honesty's responded really well, which is great to see. A lot of the morale's in a really good spot, which is perhaps the most pleasing aspect. Give the defence a little boost. Jack Harrison has responded well. Holy shit, they're playing on a square pitch. That is ridiculous. Where are we playing? The Jack Carter Centre? Is that what it's called? That is absolutely insane. Oh, God. Well, we need to get the ball out to our wingers as quickly as possible because they can't run forward without being offside. What a horrendous looking pitch that is. How is that legal? Interesting to note, it doesn't look like Halstead Town have a game today. They might be playing tomorrow, or they may potentially have a cup replay. So this is an opportunity for us to go 3 points clear at the top of the table, which, while it's still early days and I don't expect to go through the season undefeated or anything, it would be good to get that early marker out there and have teams chasing us rather than looking forward and trying to catch up throughout the course of the season. Charlie Kelly now. I'm just going to assume it's Charlie. Decent free kick strike. It looked for a second like it might be going in, but just sails over. That square pitch is ridiculous. I'm pretty sure Andy Cade-Watts, out of his hands, might be able to score. Jake Davis has picked up a yellow card for them. It looks like we might get outside the first 15 minutes without conceding, which is always good to see. We do have a highlight, I think, now. Hopefully it's going to be us winning the ball back. Ball inside now to Francis. Back out to Baker on the left wing. Hurst's going to step to him. It's a deep ball across to Goldthorpe, and they have taken the lead. They had that highlight earlier, which I thought was just the free kick. And I jinxed us by saying we're getting out of the 15-minute. We've conceded in the 17th. Louis Goldthorpe. It's a good deep ball from Baker. We don't get out to him quick enough. Gives him time to pick his spot. He just hangs it up back stick, and Goldthorpe gets the run on Tom Williams there. Like Tom Williams, for all his quality, for all his technical ability and class, he's not the quickest across 5 yards, being 37 years old, and it's a decent volley into the side inning, so fair play to them. Wonder if there's a shout we can use here. Maybe just say concentrate, see if that works. Keeping an eye on this body language, it could go either way. Tasha Richmond and Andy Cade-Watts are both overwhelmed by it. Lee Hurst's currently nervous. Ricky Evans has picked up a yellow card now. A couple of changes around the place in the league table structure. It would draw White and Swan back level with us on 12 points if things stay the way they are. They do have a superior goals for, but not a better goal difference than us, depending on how their game goes. They could potentially leapfrog us if we don't get back on level terms and hopefully go ahead. Holland's progressing. Brentford, who we played during the week, is progressing as well. Brentford, who we're playing right now. I don't know what I'm talking about. My brain's broken there. But it will push them up into 5th position and get them back around the conversation for top of the table spots. 10 minutes remaining in the half. At least if we do go in a goal down at half-time, I know exactly what my team talk's going to be. We do have a free kick now, though, on halfway. Singano plays it forward, but not to anybody in particular. It's cleared, but only as far as Tashan Richmond. It falls to Daniel Adjie. It's cleared away again, back to Evans. Just needs to find support. He's got Tom Williams on his own. Just needs to pick out a decent cross. He gets a decent ball in. He's got a second chance at it now, a third chance. Comes back outside to Evans, has Hurst at the top of the box. Can he find the strike? He does, but it's just over. I think the keeper was in good position regardless. Tom Williams needs to select better crosses if he's getting into wide areas like that, left wide, well and truly alone. It says he's been quite error prone today. Maybe we look at bringing on Ross Gleed. Both Morley and Evans on yellow cards as well. We'll have to keep an eye out on that. And for their goal lead, we haven't seen much more out of Frenford in terms of highlights or really anything that's jumping out at me in these match stats. We have had 8 shots, 4 on target to their 3 shots, 1 on target, but they're leading in the goals column, and that's the one that hurts you the most. All right, it's 1-0 down at half-time. There's really only one thing for it, and that's aggressively saying, show a bit of desire. You don't look like a team that wants to win. To be fair, this is our 3rd game in 7 days, so I shouldn't be too shattered. We're playing on a ridiculous square pitch. The boxes on it make it look like an old school floppy disk with that circle in the middle and the box at the top. But dare I say it, we may have to make a couple of different changes at half-time. Not at half-time, sorry, with an hour gone. My brain has broken. I'm pretty sure Daniel Adji's double in the last game destroyed my brain. He's only 2 stars and he's bursting past defensive lines like that. That's crazy. But I think he might be on the chopping block in terms of players that we might look to move around. All right, they're starting to make subs, and I'm going to pause the game and have a look at a few of our own as well. All right, we've seen that Tom Williams hasn't had the greatest game, and it was called out earlier by our assistant Dev, so we might take him off a little bit. Charlie Morley hasn't had the best game, so I might push, and he's on a yellow card, so I'm going to push Tashane Richmond out to the right wing, and we'll bring on Ryan Adams. And Dan Brown is far and away the best finisher at the club. All right, away we go. 30 minutes remaining. Let's see how we get on here. We might also use a shout and say, demand more. Blakey immediately has a highlight here, taking a goal kick to Terry. Played forward to Francis in midfield. We're just very lethargic getting to the ball at the moment. Harrison with the long ball forward. Is anyone going to attack it? Terry's kept it in. Brown's in the area. Can he find the right pass? Come back out to Hersett, to Honesty. Squares it up to Ryan Adams, who gets his strike away to Tashane Richmond on his left foot. Cuts inside and just puts that one wide past the far post. But a good response from everybody. And I think our shout should now come through as well. Demand more. And everyone seems pretty focused after that. So let's just keep on top of them. We've had 11 shots to their 4. Ross Gleed now, coming off the bench, plays a high ball at Ryan Adams in midfield, which isn't the easiest one to deal with. Stockdale with a dangerous looking crossfield ball. Singano picks it out. Richmond now on the right wing. Can he find the cross in? It's towards Brown. Brown with a great header, and he's done it. He's come off the bench. His 2nd goal of the season. Tashane Richmond continues to add to his impressive early season form. And this is already in 2 minutes since we made those subs. Better play than I think we produced in the previous hour. It's a great hanging ball. Brown's in amongst 4 players, but he's the salmon rising out of the river. Nods that one home into the far post. And we equalise a 1 goal each. So should I use another shout and encourage everybody? Or should I praise them? I'll praise them. I'll give them positive feedback and we'll see if they start trying to do that again. Okay, so some people are overwhelmed, namely Marcus Stamp and Harry Honesty, which makes no sense. Gleed and Hersett are apprehensive. I'm never saying anything positive to this team again. I'm just going to be dicks to them for the rest of... That's how they want it. Treat them mean, keep them keen. Here we go. Bacon out on the right-hand side. It's well won back by Singano. Oh, the ball's running behind. Dan Brown, he's gotten in behind. He's got very little angle to shoot at, and he probably could have just held the ball up. He did have Ryan Adams bursting his way into the box, but instead he struck into the side netting. We've made all 3 of our subs. They've made their 2nd one now. It looks like Spencer came on in injury time of the first half and then also had to come off, I'm guessing is what that is. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. It's a difficult one. 1 point would be enough for us to stay top of the table, but it would give Halstead Town the opportunity to jump ahead of us. Might use one more shout and let's demand more again. It worked last time. 10 minutes remaining. Surely we can at least muster one more highlight. From the stats we've seen, from the match ratings we've looked at, we have improved a little bit in the last 15 minutes or so. Balls with Bacon down the left-hand side. Very eerily remnant of the goal we conceded. And Ross Gleed, I'm not sure if he actually got anything on it there, but it ends up going out for a goal kick. Just those deep balls across, they're killing us in this match. Ricky Evans now with a free kick, about 35 out, headed towards Tashane Richmond, and he gets his 6th goal of the season, so maybe he's better suited to that right wing spot. 6 goals of the season, him, and the assist for Dan Brown's equaliser. And we go 2-1 up. It's a decent header. He's closer to his actual ethnicity in this version of the game. It seems like they all keep changing nationalities and backgrounds and races every time I load up this save. It's weird. It's real strange. They've got another highlight here. Guest with the ball across to Cornell at the top of the 18-yard box. He comes out to Francis on the right. Again, we're slow getting to him. Singano with a decent header away. Adams is tackled, but it comes to Tasha and Richmond. Do we have a counter-attack on us here? Brown's got another man over in Harry Honesty. Can he find the finish on his left peg? Phenomenal counter-attacking football. 4th goal of the season for Harry after opening his account with a double on the first day of the season. This is a clinical counter-attack. It's excellent play. Dan Brown, clever there. He holds it up. He plays Harry Honesty behind. It's a great touch. It's on his favoured left-hand side. And he smacks that one low across the keeper and into the side netting, and then starts doing some amateur acrobatics in terms of celebration. I don't mind that. If you can do a backflip, do a backflip. Alright, last 5 minutes or so remaining. Let's just see this one out now. If you want to add extra goals, you can add extra goals. But I think it does kind of illustrate the gulf in class between our starters and those you would consider like future prospects or players that potentially won't really make it beyond this level. Daniel Adji, I don't think, had a single highlight to his name throughout the course of the game. Didn't really look like scoring, and Dan Brown, since he's come on, has changed the dynamics of the team. We've got another one here. Richmond to take the corner. It's a deep ball across to Harry Honesty, and Cornell has brought him down. Who's going to take the penalty here? I'd assume it's going to be Tom Williams. Oh, no, Tom Williams is off, so maybe it is Dan Brown. No, it looks like it's going to be Ryan Adams, I think that is, number 16. It is. And he sends the keeper the wrong way, low to the right-hand side. His first goal of the season. And his very first goal for #United as well in league competition, I should say. He scored quite a few times in different friendlies and things. It's a good penalty. Keeper made a very dramatic looking save, but it was in the wrong direction. And makes it 4-1. It's an excellent last 15 to 20 minute period. Perhaps Brentford's extra cup replay is catching up with them a little bit. And they're fading quite a bit. They've got a lot of players in the 56s, 58%. Well, we're sitting around mid-60s, low 70s. Alright, is there another one here, or is this the end of the game? We are at the end of extra time. Dan Brown comes forward once more. It's cleared away. Davis has gotten him behind. Surely, referee, this is the final. And Jake Davis has pulled back with a pretty fantastic finish, to be fair to him. He was 1 out against 6 of our players and a goalkeeper. Dan Brown loses the ball here, and it's just a long ball forward. And I think it's Marcus Stamp, maybe. It's hard to tell, again, because his ethnicity is wrong, who screws that one up. Harrison tries to come across the cover. But to be fair, it's a really good finish from Davis. Left foot high into the far corner. And surely, referee, this is the end of the game. Marcus Stamp looks for Harry Honesty. It's launched forward and Gleed heads away. Only to Cornell. You can blow the whistle, ref. It's all done. It's all finished. 4-2 winners. Evans wins the ball, then loses the ball, and for a second I thought he was going to get himself sent off. Adams now with time, looks for a long ball forward that probably didn't need to be on. We probably could have wasted a little bit of time there and just retained possession, but the referee has called full time. A good 4-2 win considering we were a goal down at half time. An excellent second half performance, 18 shots, 9 on target. Right, if you're going to fire the rocket at half time, you at least have to give them praise when they come back. You've done brilliantly to come back and win that. I'm proud of you. Everybody's responded really positively, which is fantastic. Dan Brown's really the only one who I think's morale we need to boost, and that will certainly give him a little spike as well. Alright, you can see there, #United secure victory at the Jack Carter Centre. They should call it the Jack Carter Square, because that's what it is. Dan Brown with the role of super sub in that one. We had 18 shots to their 6, 48 possession to 52%, but again, that's to be expected in the way that we're set up. Decent performance, decent turnaround in the second half, and good to see that we do have options and we can kind of change and tweak things a little bit and still win 5 matches on the trot that we have won now. They are talking about our loss in the FAVs, but that is what it is. I'm not going to struggle or worry about it too much. Let's look at our schedule now. So that probably closes off September for us and the start of the season. We might look at coming back. Burnham Ramblers, Needham Market Reserves, and Hackney Wick. I think we'll come back and do the Needham Market Reserves and Hackney Wick game in the next episode. I like Hackney Wick's logo. I think they're in 17th at the moment, but I think in the real world, they're actually doing quite well, and they've had some good games against #. So I think that's where we'll come back in October. We'll play the Lopez Tavares and Burnham Ramblers games off screen and come back and do a bit of a review of them in the start of the next episode. But things are going really well. I'm really happy with the way the series is going so far. Thank you to everybody that watched the first 2 episodes. I do really appreciate it, and the people that's provided feedback, whether in the comment section of the video or reaching out to me on Twitter. Stuff like that's really appreciated, and I will respond to everybody that reaches out to me, because your support and content that you guys want to see is going to drive what you see on this channel. More than anything though, guys, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to be kept up to date on future videos as they come out, or you can follow in the mixer_FM on Twitter. There is a link in the description below. But as always, I'll see you guys again in the mixer, and of course, don't forget to hashtag it.